brother save his daughter? What? Like I don't, like save her life? What do you mean by that? No, I'm stressed, bubby. People don't usually get to see you. You don't hang out much for Apple Day. Oh, you're gonna flop. I'm disturbing you. I'm so sorry. Happy Apple Picking Day! I know I sound as sick as I did last week, but it's not because I'm still sick. God, I hope not. I just had to go on a trip, so I recorded this before. Have no fear. We're gonna positive manifest that I don't sound this nasally anymore. Some quick reminders for any of our new friends. If you want a chance for your stories to be featured on Am I the Bad Apple, you can send them to my subreddit, r/AmITheBadApple. And as a reminder, we all come from different branches of the apple tree. And what that means is we've all lived different lives and have different experiences. And those experiences are going to shape the boundaries that we have, the way that we internalize different details, the things that mean the most to us. That's the normal, that's the human experience. And yours is not gonna match someone else's exactly. So as we're discussing ideas down in the comments, just keep that in mind. That's how we practice constructive communication. So without further ado, let's get started with this week's episode of Am I the Bad Apple? Let's go apple picking! I'm not gonna be able to like really sit in this chair, am I? You little nugget. I know I love you. Apple number 1. Am I the bad apple for causing an issue with my stepmom? I, 20 female, have divorced parents. My mom stayed single and my dad remarried my stepmom, who we'll just call Eva. My dad and Eva had trouble with infertility, but after a long time with IVF and a miracle, they had my sister, 7, and my brother, 4. While yes, I am an adult, I'm still dependent on my mom for housing and transportation. For personal and medical reasons, I haven't been comfortable learning how to drive yet. I also have severe ADHD and prefer to stick to my schedule, so when I turned 18 and legal visitation with my father was over, I asked to keep our schedule until I was on my feet more. Both my parents know that I struggle, so they both agreed, and that's why I still go over there to this day. For some context, my stepmom's uncle sends all the kids and grandkids money for their birthdays. He did it for Eva and her older brother and all the grandkids, even me. For Eva and her brother, the money stopped when they turned 18, but for me, it hasn't stopped yet. Eva makes comments about how she doesn't understand why her uncle still sends me money, but I don't mind. I'm just grateful to be accepted by her family. Well, last week, my siblings both got cards from their great-grandmother, $5 in cash in their cards, and I didn't get one of those cards. I didn't get a card from their great-grandmother at all, but I did get my belated birthday card from Eva's uncle. It had $50 in it. I tried to hide the money at first, since my sister is one to get jealous, but she came up to me and asked, "How much money did you get?" I didn't want to lie to her, so I was just honest and said, $50. Well, then she got mad and fussy because it wasn't fair. I backtracked and reminded her that I didn't get the same Easter card that she did and that this was for my birthday. And since I was older, I specifically asked for money, but it didn't help. Not surprisingly. Well, then Eva got involved and she got mad and yelled at me, calling me selfish for showing off that I got more than her kids. I argued back, saying that I didn't want to lie or ignore her, so I was just honest. Well, that just made her angrier. I looked to my dad, who was sitting across from me, but as always, he said nothing to defend me. If it's not already obvious, Eva wears the pants in their relationship. I really don't think I'm in the wrong here. I did everything right. I mean, I didn't intend on telling her, to keep the peace, but I didn't want to lie to her when she blatantly asked me. Is telling the truth really that bad? I need some advice. Was I the bad apple for just answering her question honestly? I already know there's gonna be some people that don't agree with what I'm about to say, and I have a feeling most of those people are going to be kids. And it's just a hypothesis. Maybe that wasn't the right word. I don't know what word I'm looking for right now. But I'm definitely going crab apple. And here's the thing, and this might be more from like my experience as a teacher. I personally have a pet peeve with, I'm trying to think of how to explain this. I saw a lot of instances as a teacher with high schoolers of people going out of their way to cause problems with like the little shield of like trying to make little obvious morality things like their defense. Like, well, what, did you want me to be a liar? You wanted me to lie to this little girl? Like, you're 20 years old. You're a 20-year-old. You even said in your story, you knew that your sister was gonna be a problem. You knew she gets jealous. You knew it was gonna be a problem. Well, I didn't intend on telling her. You didn't deflect either. Like, there's a difference, in my opinion, between like someone that like genuinely accidentally stumbles into like a confrontation that they can't get out of and like just, hey, it is what it is. And like this. And like, I don't know if I'm explaining it well, but like, you know what I'm talking about too. Like, well, I didn't intend to tell her, but I didn't want to be a liar. It would not be a lie to say, I didn't get any money for your Easter, because you didn't. That wouldn't have been a lie. But you wanted to tell her. You wanted, don't worry about it. Worry about what's in your card. What did you get? Like, you wanted to tell her. I cannot stand when people use like tiny little morality things to try and deflect away from the fact that they wanted to cause a problem. You know what I mean? Like, it's like those people in the movies. They're like, well, I had to tell the teacher what you were doing because, well, it didn't feel right. Like, you know what I mean? It's not sincere. It's not real, okay? And like the fact that, like, you're 20 years old. You knew what was in the card. Open it later. Like, and it's not even like you had to do that. It's more the fact that, like, you tried to cause a problem, you knew what was gonna happen, and you're like, well, I just want someone to tell me that it's them and not me. Like, you're just looking for a reason to victimize yourself in the eyes of things going on with your stepmother. I don't think your stepmother is that great either. I wanna be clear. Like, your stepmother should be teaching her children that not everything's fair. She got more money for the birthday. You'll get more money for your birthday just because it's at the same time. Like, it doesn't matter. Things in life aren't always fair. That's what her mom should be teaching her. So like, let's be honest. I don't like stepmom either. I don't like how she's handling this. The first stepmom to be like angry that her uncle is spoiling her stepdaughter more, like that's really weird. Like, of course, the grandkids, that generation, they always get more than what the kids got. That's just how it is. The grandkids are always gonna get more than the kids. That's how that works. It's weird that she is angry that you're getting more. I don't like it. But I also, like, you're 20 years old and you're going out of your way to fight with a 7-year-old? Why? It feels, and like, it feels, it's weird. Like, you can even just hear in the way that you talk about your stepmom. Well, she wears the pants in that relationship. Why do you go? Like, I know you can, well, it's my routine. Why do you go? I just have trouble sympathizing when you have a choice to go or not. You're 20 years old, you're an adult. Like, you are a whole adult. You're 20 years old, you don't have to go. You knew what was gonna happen. You you acted in a way that you knew was gonna cause an issue. And you're like, but, well, she just, she wears the pants and I did everything right. Like, it's not that you did anything egregiously bad. It's more of the tone in the vibe is very much like you need someone to coddle you and hold your hand and tell you that you're a good person. You're 20 years old. You don't need to be playing these games. I think you should, if you can't. Oh, baby, I'm sorry. Am I disturbing you? I know, do you hear your sister? You're okay. I know. You are so good. You are the best boy I've ever seen in my whole life. You really are. I have a lot of sympathy for people who don't have great relationships with their blended families. I don't have a lot of sympathy for people who go out of their way to cause more tension. Like, you know what I mean? I can't do it. It frustrates me. And again, I'm not saying that your stepmom is a good person. I don't like how she's handling a lot of the stuff with you either. And I think that she should be teaching her kids about fairness and the lack thereof in the world, for sure. And your dad, of course, I think should also be sticking up for you. I think that your dad should be your #1 defender in that house, for sure. I'm not saying that other people are not to blame. I'm saying that I have trouble empathizing with people who go out of their way to seek trouble and then complain that they found trouble. You know what I mean? That bothers me a lot. So I'm going crabapple, not because I think you did anything super egregious. I feel like there was intention and I would not have handled it the same way, and I don't like how it was handled, and that's all I'm gonna say. And I know there's gonna be some people who hate that, and that's fine. I've just interacted with too many people who do that, and I really struggle to empathize with those kinds of situations, with this kind of detail and context, if that makes sense. Now, if you were a child, we would be having a completely different conversation. You're 20. Don't go. I understand you like routine. I get that. Stop going over there. Apple number 2. Am I the bad apple for getting my friend kicked out of university? I, 22 male, am in med school and have this friend we'll call Jake. We've studied together a few times, and I shared my annotated notes with him before big exams. I made them myself with diagrams, explanations, even some mnemonic devices I've come up with. A few weeks after I started doing this, one of our professors used one of my made-up mnemonic devices in a lecture, crediting I was confused. It turns out Jake had been submitting my notes with his name on them to the professor's student tips portal, which students can share study tips for extra credit. He didn't even mention me. I confronted him and he brushed it off, saying, "Oh, it's just notes, chill out." Well, I reported it to the Academic Honesty Office since it technically falls under plagiarism. Now he's under investigation and might lose the extra credit or worse. Apparently, they could very well kick him out of school for this. Well, my mutual friends are calling me petty and saying that I should have just talked to him, but I don't know. Was I the bad apple? Was this too far? Ooh, I feel like some people are not gonna like what I have to say about this either, but I'm going good apple on this one. You cannot just take someone else's work and gain credit for it, okay? You just can't do that. Especially when it's like, these people are gonna be doctors, right? I want my doctor to get by in med school on their own without using someone else's assignments for a grade, right? And I get it's extra credit. Okay, I don't care. If he used that extra credit to not fail out, I would have rathered him fail out. If he's not cut it to be my doctor and finish med school, I don't want him to be my doctor. If he can't get through med school without using someone else's work for extra points to stay in, I don't think he should be a doctor. And I'm not saying that's the case, we don't know, but he is submitting someone else's work for his own grade. You can't do that. And I would never want someone who's going to be participating in life-saving surgeries or saving people's lives, dealing with other people's health, to be used to cutting corners like that and used to not doing their own work. That's not the kind of work ethic that I want for anybody. You're okay, it's just your sister, baby. I know. Now I told you guys, he's a scared baby. He's scared of it's just okay. It's just a noise. You're fine, my sweet love. It's okay, you're a good boy. See, now evidence. He's just a scared boy. Yeah, and I have so many instances where, like, when I was a teacher, of so many people that just don't think plagiarism's a big deal, or like, oh, whatever, my kid copy and pasted. But you can't do that. You just can't. I'm just not sorry about it. I'm going good apple. Here's the thing. If she just went to the academic integrity office, whatever, before talking to him, I would say crab apple. Because I'd be like, you didn't even talk to him first. But the fact that she talked to him and was like, hey, I have a problem with this, and he blew her off, or him off, he blew him off, sorry, my bad. Blew him off, like, didn't even say, oh, I'm sorry. He didn't see anything wrong with it. Chill, it's just notes. It's a grade. You're getting a grade for it. And if he doesn't see anything wrong with that, with cheating and cutting corners in med school, I absolutely think that needs to be reported. Because when you are a professional, like in the medical field, your character matters. How you care for your patients matters. If you're someone that doesn't see anything wrong with cheating, cutting corners, whatever, you don't see the value in like acknowledging other people and their work, that's not good. That's not good. You're not going to care for people properly. You're not going to care for people the way that you should. I am all for him facing consequences for these actions. I just am. I'm sorry if you hate me for it. Again, if when they talked, he was apologetic, I'm sorry, let me right the wrong, or it won't happen again, then I would feel differently about her going to the professor, but he didn't. He said it wasn't a big deal, he blew her off. He's not sorry. So, yeah, he needs to face the consequences, in my opinion. Yeah, Bubs, you're a good boy. Apple number 3. Am I the bad apple for calling my ex-wife's new boyfriend names in front of our kids? All right, let's make a long story short. My 46 male ex-wife, 40 female, left me 2 years ago for our next door neighbor, and after I found out they had an affair for about a year. We have 2 kids together, 5 female and 8 male. Unfortunately, the judge gave us split custody, though if I had my way, she and her new boyfriend would never come near my kids again after what they did. I wish they didn't have to grow up thinking that kind of behavior is acceptable. Anyways, it's been such a long and painful process. I'm at my wit's end with this divorce. I'm trying to be the mature adult here, but every once in a while, I have a slip up, okay? And I might accidentally call her new boyfriend obscene names when referring to him, or sometimes maybe even when the kids are in earshot. I know it's not the most mature thing to do, but I can't see why I need to be respectful towards the man who stole my wife and broke up our family. I mean, I'm only human. Humans slip up every now and then. The other day, my ex-wife left me a super long voicemail telling me how unacceptable it is to call this guy names in front of our kids. My guess is that one of them accidentally repeated an insult to her. Our friend then contacted me backing up my wife, claiming that I'm being unfair to the kids. Out of this entire story, how the heck am I being the immature and unfair one? I know I'm not perfect, but no one is. And acting like I'm the monster in this story seems so excessive. So, am I the bad apple? People might not like this one either. Gosh, we have a theme today. Maybe I'm just feeling rebellious, I don't know. Maybe it's a mood. I know someone's gonna call me a hypocrite. I know they are, but I'm going bad apple for this one. And it's not because I have any sympathy for the cheaters, because as we know, there's no sympathy for cheaters on this page. Like, there's just not. Doesn't exist. But you're putting your kids in the middle of your anger. You have every right to be angry, okay? You have every right to be angry and upset, and what they did is not okay. It's not, right? You are the victim in that situation. But when it comes to now with your kids, you're turning yourself into the villain a bit because you're putting the kids in the middle of it, right? Your relationship with your ex-wife and her boyfriend is one issue, one situation. And your children's relationship with their mother and maybe someday stepfather is a completely separate issue that has nothing to do with you. And you putting your kids in the middle of your relationship issues with your ex and her boyfriend is not fair to them, okay? It's just not. And I understand that's easier said than done. I know it doesn't feel fair, but her being a crappy partner is not the same as her being a crappy mother, right? It's just not. It's not your business to get in the middle of their relationship with their mom and her boyfriend. So like when you're going out of your way to like call him obscene things well, maybe it's in their earshot, maybe I slip up, then just don't. Be an adult, be a parent. It's that easy. Like I know plenty of people, I think mostly women, though that's not really important to the story. I'm more so just trying to think out loud of the list of people in my brain. I know plenty of people who were victims of adulteries and affairs and things like that, right? And even though they deserve to run their ex-partner's name through the mud, they will never do that in front of their children, ever. Because it is more important for them to let their children have the relationship that they will with their other parent than to be right. And like it's not even a be right. Like I don't even know why I said that. I shouldn't, like, to feel validated by their kids. They don't need to feel validated. They understand that what their partner did was wrong. It's just wrong. Just because that happened doesn't mean that their kids should be taken away from them. Like, and it's not even that I feel like the ex-wife deserves to have the kid, but the kids deserve to have their mother. Like, her being a crappy partner doesn't mean that the kids deserve to have their parent taken from them, right? I have family members who have been through it. I have questioned, why don't you want your kids to know what they put you through? And their response, it's multiple people. Their response is, one day they will see their true colors and it's not gonna be from me. And I think that is so strong and courageous. And I respect that wholeheartedly. It makes me mad, it makes me infuriated because, you know, the process, like when they're not there yet and they're like, oh, my other parent, so great. And I'm like, But it's not for your partner, it's for your children. It's for your children to grow up understanding that both parents love them. Do you not want that for your kids? Do you not want them to grow up with both of their parents being able to love them and provide for them? You gotta stop using your kids as a pawn in your relationship issues. And even though it's not fair and it doesn't feel good, they're two completely different issues. You gotta stop trying to combine them together. So I am going bad apple because, again, I know you're hurting and I know it's not fair, but this isn't about you right now. This is about the kids. And it is what it is. That's what being a parent is. Sometimes you have to put your feelings aside and do what's right for the kids. And this is one of those times. Apple number 4. Am I the bad apple for refusing to give money to my brother to save his daughter? I refuse to give $100,000 to my brother to fund his legal custody battle. Am I the bad apple for this? My brother called out of the blue one day, and we've been living in different countries for many years, and we're often not in touch with each other. But he's been going through a divorce and custody battle for a long time. The divorce has been really ugly. Both he and his ex-wife are extremely similar with being stubborn and argumentative and always right, and they're both ex-army if that helps anybody. Well, my brother asked today for $100,000. Specifically, it's for this newest set of lawyers to, quote, conduct a last stand all-out custody battle. He explained it like a military strategy and said it's a last stand and about showing strength. According to his lawyers, it's completely unwinnable and not recommended. A waste of time, and he's better off accepting the hard truth and saving the money. I personally agree with the lawyers based on what I was told by my brother, yet he insists it's the only thing left to do. He also said there's no way he could pay me back the money and that I just be out all of that money. My view is if it's life or death, yes, of course, but it's not. And it's only gonna hurt everyone making this the last stand. But now he's saying that I don't support him, and I don't love him, and I don't love my niece, and blah, 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 blah. I am starting to feel kind of bad and guilty, so am I the bad apple? No. And I know there's gonna be a lot of people in the comments that are ridiculing this guy for wasting all the money. And I see what he's trying to do. I can see the desperation. I can see him wanting to show his kid he did absolutely everything in his power to XY. I don't know what the end goal is. I don't know if he's going for full custody or if he doesn't have any visitation, he wants split. I have no idea what's going on. But I feel like he is just looking for a way to tell his daughter, look her in the eye and say, I tried every single thing for you. I fought for you until there was no options left. And I feel like that makes sense in his brain to be able to tell her that. But I think that he's spiraling to the point that he doesn't see, it's not gonna change anything. You can still tell your daughter, I tried everything, there was no, the lawyers are telling you there's no way to win this. So you technically don't really have an option. It's not an option, really. I feel like he feels like it's giving up on her. And so I don't even feel like I can give him a bad apple. I feel like it's just this desperate parental need to appear to his children or to his daughter that he's doing everything he can. And I don't feel like I can shame somebody for that personally. Now, just because I don't think that I can shame it, that doesn't mean that I think he's making good decisions, and it doesn't mean that I think that anyone should take this request seriously. This is a bad idea for everybody. I just don't feel like I can make fun of him for it, if that makes sense. I can see the point. It's just not a good point, if that makes sense. But OP's not a bad apple at all for being realistic and being no, this is not a good idea. We're gonna stop this now. There's no reason we all need to be out worse off for this. It's time to come back to reality. And I think that her brother needs that little dose of reality. It's obviously devastating for him and gonna be hard for him to accept that this is his reality, but I think he needs that. So I'm going good apple for that one. And again, I feel like there's gonna be a lot of, not a lot, but some people that are oh my God, this guy. But I just see a desperate parent when I read that, personally. I feel bad for him. All right, so I got one bad apple, a crab apple, and 2 good apples. That's at least what I got. I would love to know if you got anything similar or different. Let me know down in the comments. And And as always, if you want a chance for your stories to be featured on Am I the Bad Apple, you can send them to my subreddit, r/AmITheBadApple. Next week, I'm trying to like do up my studio a little bit, so hopefully next week will look a little bit different, a little bit more put together. We'll see. But for your well wishes, today is National Shrimp Scampi Day, which that sounds delicious. I am gonna have to get me some of those. And National Peace Rose Day, the pretty little garden rose. Oh, I love those. I wanna get my garden in the back situated too. That's like my goal this spring. I say that every year. This year I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get the garden situated. Get the garden, enjoy a nice bowl of shrimp scampi. That sounds like a great day to me. Let me know down in the comments which day you are celebrating today. As always, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see y'all next week. Bye, my lovelies. Mwah.